Welcome to this new lab. This is the lab number 2 from the class 7. In this lab, we are going to see how Fakenet works. As we remember, in the previous lab, we weren't able to go forward in our investigation because we are working in a local environment. That means we cannot reach the real DNS server. In this case, we are going to use Fakenet to see if it can help us to use a fake DNS server and to see if our malware has something more to say. So let's do it. Let's run Fakenet. Let's run Wireshark. And now let's run our malware. Here is our malware running, as we can see. Wireshark is running as well. These are the packages that we are interested in, and now we can stop our malware. Let's stop our pickup. And let's see what is going on with Fakenet first. If we remember, here is the domain that we saw previously that our malware were trying to reach out. Oh, sorry about it. This is the domain. Now that we are able to reach the DNS server that in reality is Fakenet, well, our malware can go to the second step. Let's go to see it in Wireshark. Here you can see it a little bit clear. This is the domain. And now we can see how it's connected to the port 80. That means it is a HTTP protocol. It's doing the three-way handshake. And once it establishes the connection, then it's doing a GET. Let's see what that package has for us. Let's right-click in the package, and then let's follow the stream. And we can see here how it's doing a GET. Then it's asking for the file PHP, but at the same time is sending 3 parameters: I, C, and P. I is the IP of the victim. C is the name of the system infected. And all of this is P, from here to all the way here. What is exactly this? Well, looks like this is encrypted and need a little deeper investigation that we are not going to do in this lab exactly, but definitely we are going to do this in another lab. But for now, we can see how we have here the rest of the header. We can see the user agent, the host connection. So this is information that we couldn't see before because we are working in a local environment. So that is the beauty of Fakenet. Fakenet helps us to still work in a local environment, but tricking the malware to be able to see next steps. Now, in this case, we are talking about HTTP protocol. That means we are able to see the traffic, but what about if we are talking about HTTPS? We know that HTTPS is an encrypted protocol. That means we cannot see the information that is traveling from point A to point B. How are we going to approach that type of malware? Well, with that type of information, really Wireshark cannot help us because Wireshark is not able to see it. Well, it is able to see it, but you need like a little bit more tricks there. But for easy purpose, we just need to use Fakenet. And that's why we have Fakenet right here. Let's try with a different sample in this case. We are going to use sample 2 now. Sample 2 is doing a HTTPS connection. Let's see if Fakenet can help us with that as well. Let's run sample 2. You will see it here running. Let me see if we can just put this one enabled to see much better. There. In this case, to see it a little bit better. So let's run sample 2. There is running sample 2. It deletes sample 2. It make a second file running, that is this sample, and then it's popping up this little window. I hope that you catch all of that. I know that it was like kind of fast, but let's see what is going on. We can see that this is the real name of the malware that we are running. Now this file is not anymore here, but now it is in the temp folder. Let's see the temp folder. Here, these are the two files that we are working on right now. The first one is the sample that we have here, but when it moved to this temp folder, actually put the real name of the malware. And then this is a variant of the malware, because as you can see, it's a different size, and that's why even the name is slightly different. Well, let's see what Fakenet says that we have here. Let's find it. Right here. Here, it is trying to connect to talonstamed.com, and it is connecting to the port 443. That means HTTPS. Well, Fakenet is able to trick the malware and collect the rest of the information. In the rest of the header, we can see here that it's trying to download this executable file 1m6r.exe. So Fakenet create a dummy file to tell the malware, oh, here is the executable that you are requesting. So here, this is the little executable that Fakenet give to the malware to trick it and say, this is the file that you are expecting. That's why I say Fakenet mini program. So this is the one that is supposedly to be this exe file. And now we have this user agent. It really doesn't look like a normal user agent. As you can see here, we have different user agents like Microsoft, but they don't look like this, updates downloader. Maybe it could be like a type of identification, I don't know. But the thing is that the malware doesn't bother to hide it, because as I say, it's doing a connection through HTTPS. So in theory, we are not able to see this, but thanks to Fakenet, we were able to catch this type of information. So as we can see, Fakenet helped us with plain traffic and even with encrypted traffic. So that is something that is very helpful. And last but not least, how to save our pickup from Fakenet. Well, we just need to do Ctrl+C, and then you can see stopping, and it closed Fakenet. So our pickup, we will be able to find it in the same folder where our Fakenet come from. Like in this case, here you can find your different pickups. If you just close the Fakenet window, you still be able to see your pickup right here in the same folder where it is Fakenet executable. But if you actually use the Control-C command, you will be able to see this report that is an HTML report of all that you do in Fakenet. Well, let's see how iNet Sims work with this type of files, but that will be in the next lab.